Welcome back, Officers of the Public. It's your Coruscant Underworld Police Chief, APGAINS. We're going to talk about the number one most high-value team in all of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Now, as most of you guys know, I will teach you guys to kind of make the most out of what you can. You know, this is a very time and money-intensive game, and especially with the new matchmaking system, you have to be as efficient as possible, which means that we need to look at things not from, are they shiny? Does this character look cool? How expensive were they? We need to look at characters in terms of actual value. Because something that you guys have probably noticed in the new GAC system is if you are good at this game, you play people who are bad at the game but have more stuff, right? That's the thing. You're better than them, but they have more stuff, so you have to figure out a way to beat increasingly bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger opponents. And this is where the idea that we need to focus on value comes from. Because we can't have everything that our opponent has unless we suck, right? And the point of this channel is not to suck. It's to be good and to figure out ways to win, because I wasn't loved as a child, so winning is the only way that I get satisfaction from life. So that brings us to the number one most, highest, biggest, largest, and bestest value team in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. You guys can guess it. Leave your comments in the comment section while I scroll through the Nikki Biggs free-to-play account to figure out, is it Darth Reference? No, it's pretty obviously it's CLS. You guys probably all guessed this, and I'm going to explain not only why this is the highest value team, but why this should be the first team that you guys get, and is my favorite team in the entire game. I have Jedi Master Kenobi with Cat. I like this team more. I'm going for JML, going to get Lord Vader for that. I have Executor. This is my favorite team because it gives you the single highest amount of value for any team in the entire game, right? Let's go character by character really quick, 30-second to a minute synopsis why each character is good, and then we'll talk about how the team at whole stacks up to all of the other high-value teams. CLS, you can get him pre-level 85. He does great things like recover banners, attack out of taunt, stun, reduce turn meter. He's fantastic. Basically, his entire kit is exactly what we want from Galaxy of Heroes. Speed, good damage, reducing turn meter, attacking around taunts, stuns. He is perfect. Recovery, he's amazing. Han Solo, he has probably the most value on this entire team because in the concept of facing stronger and stronger opponents, you oftentimes find that your opponent's average gear and relic level is much higher than yours, and he possesses the ability to go before anyone else and stun them regardless. It could be a Relic 9 character, he's going to go first and stun them. You know, if they have their own Han Solo or a Wat Tambor, kind of characters that take instantaneous turns at the beginning of battle, then it comes down to speed. But for most cases, he's going to go first, and when you're punching up, this is where the value of Han Solo comes from. You're going to be able to already have an advantage before the fight even starts, right? Chewbacca, obviously, he reduces buffs, can stun, heals, does good damage, assists all the time. His value is pretty obvious to most players. 3PO and Chewie, same thing, reduces buffs, puts blind out, which is amazing as far as value is concerned for lower level players fighting higher level players. Because what's the one thing that opponents with more GP and higher relic and higher geared characters do? They do more damage than you do. So preventing them from being able to do that damage for at least one turn is fantastic. He also assists, does good damage, spread buffs. He's fantastic. Now, for most lower level players, you're not going to have C-3PO. You're just going to undersize this with 4 men. You know, maybe if you place it on defense, you'll put in like R2-D2 or something like that, or Old Ben Kenobi. But for the most part, you're going to be using this undersize on offense. If you're in starting the mid game and you have C-3PO, obviously C-3PO, you know, he does his confusion, assists, stun, like he's great, right? So I think you guys all understand the individual value of this team, but why is this the number one highest value team, right? So if we take the like 8 core teams, right, that you should all have, ideally before you get your first Galactic Legend, but just in general, the 8 core teams that you should have, that are going to be the backbone of beating these larger opponents, you know. Darth Revan is a stalwart on defense. This guy is an absolute monster on defense and amazing on offense. The reason he's not more high value than CLS is you can't get him quite as early, although you can get him. You know, once Malgus is in the game, obviously it's going to be more of a mid-game, end-game. Like, obviously, Malgus plus Darth Revan is going to be better than CLS because Malgus is going to beat GLs. Because Malgus is going to one-shot SLKRs and Sith Eternal Emperors and Reys with his low lightning ability. But that's Malgus. That's the Conquest GL that's not in the game yet. He's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. but it does require a significant investment, an investment that is a little bit more than what the CLS team requires. Of course, you can and should relic all of your characters on both of these squads, but you have to go up a little bit more in terms of investment for this to be equal to the CLS team, especially if we're talking about punching up, where a lot of you guys are going to be new players, mid-game players, where, you know, maybe you have a relic CLS and then a gear 10 Han Solo and a gear 9 Chewbacca and a gear 8 C-3PO Mitsuri. Like, you're going to be able to use that team against pretty much the same stuff, whereas you would not be able to rock a gear 8 Darth Revan squad across the board and beat, you know, fully relic defensive squads. Also, this team can't beat gas, and this team can. The Jedi Knight Revan team, you're also getting recovery. It's good on defense, but it's just not... It doesn't have all of the tools in the tool belt that the CLS team does. While it is also a fantastic team, these both are. They're all fantastic teams because these are the core teams. It just doesn't have the same value as a CLS. Padme. Everyone... It's really trendy these days to say, "Oh, Padme is useless." Once you get Jedi Master Luke or Jedi whatever the fuck his name is, Kenobi. Once you get Kenobi, Padme is useless. Well, yeah, that's like saying, you know, I'm gonna have a house when I'm 40 and I'm making $1 bajillion a year as a tech executive. Why would I, you know, have an apartment now? It's useless. Well, you got to get there, right? This is a long, long game. It's a marathon, not a sprint, unless you spend $10,000 a week. But this team is incredibly valuable. It basically makes all First Order completely useless, and is a great thing, and is required for gas, and is a fantastic squad, but just doesn't have the same value. There's no protection. It's worse on defense because you can just generate it. The Bounty Hunter team, this is probably the closest thing to the CLS team in terms of value. I don't know why the Geos are down here. Just ignore them. This is like her actual 5v5 squads. These are not the actual core teams. The Bounty Hunter squad is probably the closest thing to CLS in terms of value in this game, especially once you add the Zam Omicron, but it just doesn't have the same defensive viability. Yes, you can beat Gas with it. Yes, you can beat Darth Revan with it. Yes, you can get Max Banners on offense, place Bosk instead of Aura Lead on defense, and throw in, you know, Fennec Shand or Django or Boba or whatever on defense, and really drastically increase the defensive viability, but it just doesn't have the same value at super low gear, and it requires an Omicron, so it's inherently less valuable than a team that will never require an Omicron, unless, God forbid, they give 3PO and Chewie an Omicron or something like that. So, by and large, the other core teams, of course, are General Grievous and Gas, but those require massive investments that CLS does not. The end of the day, the final chapter, the nail in the coffin, you can get this team incredibly early with almost no investment whatsoever. CLS requires Gear 8. Han Solo you get for free. Chewbacca, all you need is, you know, a 5-star Bosk, a 5-star Boba, and a 5-star Dangar. 3PO and Chewie you can use at 2 stars, and C-3PO you'll have eventually because of Ewoks and is required for gas, and it's just an all-around sexy, amazing character. Right? This team is the highest value team in the entire game. APGAINS, I'd rather have Lord Vader. I'm talking about value. Value is condensed to the team itself. This team is the highest value team. I think you guys all agree with me. Let me know in the comment section what you think. As always, it's massive PPMA. Like, subscribe, let's get 20,000 subscribers. Like for Ballsack, Bugs Bunny, yada, yada, yada. I love you, and I'll see you later.